Baruchim Habaim. Is that loud? Is this very loud? Welcome. Together we are celebrating the beginning of 5785. We're celebrating as we have every year. We come to the temple or join in with the live stream. We see people we know. We see new people. We read, recite, sing, or listen to the words from the Machzor, the High Holiday Prayer Book. As Rabbanit Eliza Sperling pointed out, although the words in our prayer books don't change every year, we do. We have had experiences over the previous 12 months that may have changed our perspectives. Our needs are different. Our relationships are different. When we encounter the Machzor, our High Holiday Prayer Book, in a new year, it may acquire a new resonance. Maybe certain phrases or prayers speak to us positively and give us meaning that we've never seen before. Maybe parts of the liturgy strike us as harsh or painful in light of experiences we've endured. Maybe the liturgy just doesn't hit the spot, oblivious to what we need right now. It's worth noting what hits different than it did last year. What about us has changed? This is one of the basic Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur questions to ask ourselves. How have I changed? How have I stayed the same? What do I wish were different? And how can I make that different? With the backdrop of the service going on all around, these are the questions that we begin to ask ourselves as we step into the new year. I invite you to turn to page 49 in your Machzor, your High Holiday Prayer Book. Do we have matches? Yeah.
Yes.
Good. I'm at the top of the page. With the setting of this evening's sun, united with Jews of every place and time, we proclaim a new year of hope. May the light of the divine shine forth to lead us, to show us the good we must do, the harmony we must create. Let the fire we kindle be for us a warming flame whose brightness shows us the path of life. Can I set this here?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to please rise if you're able as we light candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidashanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shal yom yom hatov. כי אמרנו והגיענו לזמן הזה
Lovely. Let's turn back now in your Machzor, in your prayer book, to page 18.
Hineni ani mimas nirash vanivchad mipachad nirash vanivchad mipachad Yoshev Tehilot Yisrael Bati lamo ulhitchanein lefanecha alamcha Yisrael asher shalachuni אף על פי שאני חדאי והגון לכך. לכן אבקש ממך, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'chanun, Elohei Yisrael, Shaddai, Hayom v'Norah, Heyena Tatzliach darki, darki. Asher Hani Olech Lamod Olvakesh Rachamim Olai V'al Sholchai Baruch Atah Shomei Tefillah.
Let's turn to page 51. As we continue, I want to offer a couple words. What's going on? What's going on? In the service, I mean. We all know what's going on the Jewish calendar. It's Rosh HaShanah, 5785. We are about to go into an evening service. People who are traditionally observant say an evening service every single day of the week. There are some changes for Rosh Hashanah, but not many. What we do first is we do some warm-ups. We have to figure out how to transition ourselves from figuring out where to park and what we had for dinner and who's here that we want to talk to and who's here that maybe we don't want to talk to. And all of that kind of getting into the building kind of stuff, finding our seats, to being present and accounted for. And so what we just heard was a special prayer written specifically for the person who leads the service, the cantor, to say, God, I am here. Help me be a good vessel to carry the people's prayers up and to bring these words out. And now we get to sing a little, we get to read a little, and then we're going to get to the call to prayer, which is going to happen really soon. The call to prayer is where we come together as a congregation, as a community, as a minyan. We're here, we're present, we're ready, we're accounted for. And then we'll say a prayer about creation, a blessing. Thank you, God, for creating the world. We'll say a blessing that looks like it's about love, but it's about revelation. God, we love you. We want you to reveal yourself to us, and we want to reveal ourselves to you. We'll say the Shema, which is the Jewish statement of faith. Everything came from the same place. We'll say a blessing that says, God, please keep me safe when it's dark and scary outside. And then we're going to, and I forgot the one, we're going to say a blessing that says, thank you for making me free, which we're all free. Even if we're not free to decide what we want to do whenever we want to do it, we're always free to decide what our attitude is going to be about that, even if it's something we don't want to do. And then we're going to go into the Amidah, which is the standing silent prayer. You'll have a chance. We're going to start the Amidah together. You know, we're a bunch of Jews, so even when it's silent, we have to talk, right? You know what I'm saying, right? So we're going to start the Amidah together, and then you'll have a chance to say either the words in the prayer book or the words that are in your own heart or some combination, and we'll move toward the end of our service from there. For now, we're going to continue on page 51, Psalm 121.
Esainai el harim me'ayin yavo Ezri me'im Adonai Osei Shamayim va'aretz Al yitain lamot raglecha Al yanum shomrecha, hine lo yanum v'lo yishan, shomer Yisrael.
Let's read responsively at the bottom of 51. In the twilight of the vanishing year, we lift up our hearts in thanksgiving.
Our souls are stirred by the memory of joy as the new year begins.
We were sustained by love and kindness, comforted in times of sorrow, found happiness in our homes and gladness with our friends. We lift up our hearts in thanksgiving as the new year begins.
As the new year begins, our spirits rise in grateful song.
But there were dreams that came to naught, and times when we refused to dream. These, with much regret, we now remember as the new year begins.
As the new year begins, contrition fills our thoughts.
Some of our days were dark with grief. Many a tear furrowed our cheeks. Alas, for the tender ties that were broken. We look back with sorrow as the new year begins.
As the new year begins, tears well up within us.
Yet we look ahead with hope, giving thanks for the daily miracle of renewal, for the promise of good to come. May this Rosh HaShanah, birthday of the world, be our day of rebirth into life and peace, serenity and safety as the new year begins.
As the new year begins, so is hope reborn with us.
In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, there shall be a sacred assembly, a cessation from work, a day of commemoration proclaimed by the sound of the shofar. B'chodesh hashvi'i, be'echad lachodesh, yihya lachem shabbaton, zichron truah, mikra kodesh, kol melechet avodah, lo ta'asu. Please rise. We're at the top of page 53.
Tiku v'chodesh shofar, b'kesel hayom chagenu, ki chok Yisrael hu mishpat le'Elohei Yaakov.
Sound the shofar when the new moon appears, at the turning of the year, at the returning of our solemn celebration, for this is a statute binding on Israel, an ordinance of the God of Jacob. Yeah.
Kol Beit Yisrael et Hashana Hazot. Amen. Amen.
May this new year, called 5785, bring to us and the whole house of Israel life and peace, joy and exaltation, redemption and comfort. Together,
May this new year bring us life and peace, joy and exaltation, redemption and comfort. Amen.
Page 54.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Adonai Hamavorach Leolam.
God, ruler of the universe, whose word brings on the evening.
You open heaven's gates. With understanding, you make the ages pass and the seasons alternate.
Your will controls the stars as they travel through the sky.
Creator of day and night, you roll light away from darkness,
and
darkness from light. You cause day to pass and bring on the night. The God of all being is your name, O living and eternal God. Rule us always to the end of time. Blessed is the God whose words make evening fall.
Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Unending is your love for your people, the house of Israel. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts have you taught us. Therefore, O Lord our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot forever. Day and
night. At night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days. Oh, may your love never depart from our hearts. Blessed are you, O God. You love your people, Israel.
Next page.
Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha uv'chol mavshecha uv'chol miodecha v'ayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha Vashinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech u'shachbacha uv'kumecha ukashartam liot al yodecha Vayu letotafot beinenecha uchatavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Laman tiskaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kadoshim leloechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem Le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 58, Micha Mocha. This is a blessing about freedom.
Malakutecha ra'u v'neh כהים לפני משה זלי ענו ואמרו ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו ביד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך והושיענו למען שמך והגן בעדנו והסר מעלינו אויב דבר וחרב ורב ויגון והסר שטן מלפנינו ומאחרינו ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו כי אל שומרנו שומרנו מצילנו אתה כי אל מלך חנון ברחום ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים Amen.
I'd like to ask you to get comfortable in your seats if you're not already. And I'd like to share this alternative translation for this prayer that Cantor Shear just chanted. Get comfortable, close your eyes. Those of you who come on Friday night have heard this before. See what images come in that space between your eyes and your eyelids. I imagine your presence as the gracious, majestic, rich green canopy of a tree stretching upward, outward, with me nestled quietly against the sturdy trunk, resting on sweet-smelling leaves and soft moss. Keep me dry from the rains of sadness. Save me from the cold winds of doubt. Protect me from the darkness of the unknown, so that I may rise and venture forth and touch your world. Your sacred breath whisks away all but the purest presence in me. Angel wings brush my face. Watch over me as a parent peers on a sleeping child. Be the presence I feel, soft, sheltering, strong, cradling me to safety. Your canopy over me, under me, surrounding me, sheltering me with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, haporeis sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Let's turn to the bottom of page 29. This is Chatzi Kaddish. And that was 29. We're flipping backwards.
Yitkadal v'yitkadal shemei rabbah B'alma divrach yerutei v'yamalik malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayeh Decha Beit Yisrael Bagala uvizman Kariv vaimaru Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudeshah Lo elam in kol birchata Birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata damiran bi'alma v'imaru Vahimaru.
If you're able, we're on page 30.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi agit tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Gadol Hagibor Vahanorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vakonei Hakol V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot Umevi Gaula Livnei V'neihem L'man Shemau B'Yahava. Zakreinu l'chaim Melech hafetz l'chaim V'chadveinu b'sefer ha'chaim L'mancha Elohim chayim Melech Hoser hu Moshiach hu Magen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah Amen Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechayeh Hakol Ata Rav Loshia Michalkel Chaim B'Chesed Mechayeh Hakol Barachamim Rabim Somech Noflim U'Rashei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umakayem emunato Lishenei afar Micha mocha bial gvurot Umido melach Melech memit umachayeh Umatziach Yeshua Micha mocha al varachamim Zocher Yetzurav L'chaim barachamim V'ne'eman ata l'hachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh hakol.
I invite you to continue to yourself until page 39, or you can say the other Amidah on pages 62 to 68. And I invite you to, or the words of your own heart, and you can be seated when you finish. you are still davening, I invite you to continue at your own pace. We are going to turn back to page 36, Ritzeh.
Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu B'Amacha Yisrael U'tefilatam B'Ahava Tikabel Tehil Ratzon Tamid Avodat Yisrael Yisrael Amecha Karav lachol, karav panei el avadecha v'chanenu. Shavach ruchacha aleinu. V'techezena einenu b'shuvacha l'tzion barachamim. Baruch atah Adonai Hamachazir Shachinato
Page 37, toward the bottom. Shalom Rav. This is a prayer for peace. It's a prayer about peace. It's both.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon l'chol ha-shalom v'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol etuvcha sha'a bishlomecha.
Sefer Chaim, Baracha v'Shalom.
ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה.
Baracha v'Shalom. Nizacher v'nikatev lefanecha. Anachnu v'chol amcha beit Yisrael. L'chaim tovim u'shalom. Baruch atah Adonai osei hashalom.
That was beautiful. We're going to flip now to page 69. 68. The last paragraph of the page, Oseh Shalom. Please make peace.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Yal Kol Yisrael.
That was great. Don't get so excited about sitting down because I'm going to ask everyone who is able to please rise. We're going to turn now to page 69. Avinu Malkeinu, here we get to picture God as our ruler and our parent. The English in our, at least in my prayer book, I don't know which version you have, it says our Father, our King. I'm not comfortable with our Father, our King. I'm going to be saying the Hebrew. Feel free to change the English as is comfortable for you. We're going to say this responsively. I say the Hebrew, you say the English. Avinu Malkeinu Shma Kolenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu Chatanu Lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have sinned against you.
Avinu Malkeinu Chamol Aleinu Ve'ol Ol Aleinu V'Tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our children.
Avinu Malkeinu Kale Dever V'Cherev V'Ra'a Me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, make an end to sickness, war, and famine.
Avinu Malkeinu Kale Kol Tsar Umastin Me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, make an end to all oppression.
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Chaim Tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us for blessing in the book of life.
Avinu Malkeinu Chadesh Aleinu Shana Tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the new year be a good year for us.
Avinu Malkeinu Harem Keren Yisrael Amecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, give strength to your people Israel.
And we're going to sing this last one in just a moment. Let's just go to the English at the top of 70. Avinu Malkeinu, be gracious and answer us, for we have little merit.
Treat us generously and with kindness, and be our help.
We're at the bottom of 69.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, Aseh imanu, Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Vaneinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu
Wow. Thank you. A little earlier, somebody said that they were excited to hear my talk tonight. I don't have a talk. I have a story. It's been my tradition as a rabbi to tell a story on the first night of Rosh HaShanah, or the night of Rosh HaShanah. And in all my years of being a rabbi, I have never told this story before. I feel like it's especially appropriate and perhaps important to tell this story tonight. It comes from a storyteller named Karen Golden. Oh, isn't that funny? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I do have her name up here. And she said the events that this story is about happened in 1984. So it's been many years. But I still think it's a good story for us to hear tonight to kick off the new year, 5785, especially with what's going on in the Jewish world. Okay, in Israel, the Middle East. Here's Karen Golden speaking. When I lived in Jerusalem, I played my saxophone in a concert band every Wednesday night. One night after practice, a group of us was sitting at the back of the band room packing up our instruments when the conversation turned to Israel's War of Independence in 1948. It seemed like every Israeli over age 50 who was sitting in our little gathering had a story of battle or heroism, except for Avraham. He just sat quietly swabbing out his clarinet. What about you, Avraham? All faces were on him. You must have a story or two. He was such a quiet man. I had never heard him speak before. He adjusted his shirt collar, stroked his graying black hair a few times, and pulled out a stray thread from his sweater before talking in a slow, deliberate manner. I was only a boy during the war, not much of a hero. I don't even like war. Oh, I'm sorry. That was silly of me to say. None of us like war. What I meant was, I knew very little about the war. I arrived in Palestine shortly before the war began. It was all so new. Avraham made no eye contact. He just looked down at his clarinet. But then he looked up, and there was a quivering smile on his face. I guess I do have a story to tell you. It's the story of why I decided to become a music teacher. We all sat silently and watched him, not knowing how he would link his love of music to the war. The rest of the band members went home, except for those of us who were huddled together in the corner trying to hear. Avraham spoke haltingly in a low, raspy voice. I was born in Baghdad, Iraq, and lived in a big house with my family. And what a house it was. We had a large silver vase in the entranceway, many worn books on the bookshelf, and brightly woven carpets on the stone floors. My parents liked nice things. We even had a piano in the big room. I was learning to play when suddenly we had to leave everything behind just before my bar mitzvah. Life for the Jews wasn't good in Baghdad. We took a few small suitcases and flew to Palestine. It was my first plane ride. When we arrived, they told us there wasn't enough housing and we would have to live in a temporary camp in Jerusalem. It was a tent village. We lived in a tent. They said they would build more houses, stone ones. Excuse me. So we lived in the tent and waited. We had 3 metal beds and a few wooden chairs. There wasn't much to do there, no work for my father or school for me, just a lot of waiting around trying to learn Hebrew. One night, I was lying in bed when we heard a loud noise outside. It was louder than anything I had ever heard before. I knew this was the sound of gunfire. My father pulled me from my bed, and we started running along with my mother and brother. We ran from the tent village and just kept running towards some permanent houses which were not far from our tents. Then we saw an open door, and we ran into a house. I don't think we knew where we were running. We just ran. My father said it would be safer inside. There was no one home, but there was a meal on the table, pita bread and salad. We left the door open, thinking the people would return any minute. At first, we waited for them before eating their food, but we were so hungry that we ate everything. There was even a grand piano in the main room, and that night, while we heard the loud noises outside, I played the piano softly inside. The next day we went out, and in the daylight we saw that we had run into an Arab village and were in an Arab home. From the inside, we had no idea it was an Arab house. There were books in Arabic, just like those we read in Iraq. But on the outside of the house was painted a small black square, which means the family were Muslims and had made the pilgrimage to Mecca. We decided we would stay until the owners came back, though it gave us a funny feeling to be inside an Arab home. We were afraid to return to the tent because there was no protection. We felt we had no choice but to stay. All of our neighbors were our friends from the tent village. They had all run into open homes. The weather kept getting colder and colder. My father couldn't find work, and we had no money. There was very little firewood. And because the house was so big, we burned it all in a few days. We had to burn the furniture to keep warm. We burned all the chairs and tables, but we were still cold. One day, my father came to me with very sad eyes and told me we would have to burn the piano. It was good wood, and we would have to burn it if we were to survive the winter. First, he burned the bench, then the legs and the top. I could still play it until he burnt the body. Then there were just strings laying on the floor which wouldn't burn. They were useless strings, not good for anything, but to serve as a painful reminder of how vulnerable we really were. It hurt me to think that our lives had come to this, to using a piano as firewood. I felt as if a part of myself had been destroyed. I decided at that moment that I would become a music teacher, to bring music out of wounded hearts once again. I would teach people the purpose of a piano is for warming the heart, not the house. This is my story of the war. By the way, the people never came back to their houses. I guess I wasn't a hero, but I do have this story. It's lived within me every day of my life. When Avram was finished, we sat there silently. No one could think of anything to say. We just picked up our instruments and went home. When I lived in Jerusalem, I used to love going to the old city. especially to the shuk, the market, to experience sensory overload. First, there were the smells: baking bread, spices, and sewage. Then there were all the bright colors, from Persian rugs to shiny brass coffee trays. And finally, there was the symphony of sounds: people talking, muezzins calling the Muslims to prayer, and church bells ringing. I never felt afraid to walk anywhere in the old city. Even the Muslim quarter felt safe. Perhaps it's because I'm an American that I felt I could cross into this world without fear. I had a favorite shop, not far from the Damascus Gate, which was owned by an Arab man named Ibrahim. His store was like a tiny cave peeking out from under the street. It was filled with artifacts that he collected from the wandering Bedouin peoples: brightly colored pink and purple embroidered dresses, carpets, hangings, even camel saddles. Ibrahim always had a smile on his face, with 2 gold teeth sparkling in front. He was a small, balding man who moved with childlike agility through the nooks and crannies of his little shop. Whenever I went to visit him, he would brew up a pot of strong tea over a small open fire, which he lit inside a metal pot. We sat on handmade wicker stools, and he always told me stories about his customers from all over the world. He was proud of the fact that he knew people from almost every country, and he would point admiringly at the many photographs of the international customers that were all over his shop, even on the dress hangers. After the first few sips of tea, Ibrahim would pull out a huge scrapbook, at least a foot thick, filled with smiling photos, letters, quotes cut out of different kinds of documents, and newspaper clippings. On one such visit, we were looking at the scrapbook when he said, "Please read this letter. It is filled with much peace." He couldn't pronounce the P's, and his English was filled with many mistakes, but he always spoke without hesitation. "You mean peace?" He laughed. "Yes, peace. I mean peace." I unfolded a well-worn sheet of blue stationery and read it out loud. "Dear Ibrahim, we love our Bedouin carpet. It reminds us of your little shop and our visit with you. We have enclosed our 5 poems about peace for your scrapbook, as promised. We also told our neighbor Nellie, and her poems and picture will be in the mail next week. We wish you much strength. Love, Hans and Ingrid." Next to the letter were 5 short poems written out longhand on white paper, and a picture of Hans and Ingrid standing with Ibrahim. He flipped through the pages. There were letters written in languages I couldn't read, and many poems and quotes, such as "Peace begins with me," and "Peace, not war." The scrapbook was overflowing, and loose papers kept slipping out onto the floor. One letter was from 1953. "When did you start your peace scrapbook?" I asked. "After the war," he said. Then he laughed. "I wish after the war it is still going on. I mean, after the big one in 1948, when I was a child, I started my scrapbook when we lived in the little houses, the refugee camp. At first, everyone was very angry, and people said bad things all the time. The word hate was in almost every sentence. Once, I heard my friend say something about being peaceful. I was so happy. I said, "Muhammad, will you write what you said on paper? I want to keep it." He thought I was joking, so he just wrote it and laughed. I kept the paper in a little notebook, and thereafter, anytime anyone said something nice, I told them to write it down. My book was quite thin for a long time because people didn't say nice things very often. But then it started to grow. Whenever my friends found a poem or quote about peace, they copied it and gave it to me. I showed my book to all the people in my village who were especially angry about our move. They called me the dreamer, but at least they laughed. Move? What move? I said. The move from the village of my birth in Jerusalem. Not really a move. We all ran away out of fear. It was a warm spring day. The sun had gone down and we were waiting for my father to come home from work. It was getting so late that we worried. My mother put the dinner on the table, pita bread and salad. I was helping her roast a chicken on the outside stove when we heard a very loud noise and saw flames in the sky. My mother screamed, and then my father came running toward us. I don't know to this day who told us to leave or why. They just kept yelling, "Run, run." So we started running. We ran from that beautiful house. And what a house. It was made of stone. Not like the little houses we ran to, which were made of old boxes and tin. Our house was so big, we even had our own yard, filled with olive trees and grapevines. Our house was so big that the piano, when the piano played in the main room, it rang out like what I imagined the voice of Allah to sound like. Did I ever tell you about our piano? I used to play the piano, but after we moved, I never played again. We never went back. All gone, all gone. This is why I started my scrapbook, to make music with words and people's hearts. When I read these words of peace, I hear music in my heart. Ibrahim showed me one final letter that day. It was in Yiddish from an old friend of his father. My father spoke Yiddish with an Arab accent. He had many friends before the war. He wrote to these friends until he died, but he never saw them after the war. He just couldn't. But I saved the letters as proof that we can all be friends. I finished my tea and thanked him for a lovely afternoon. Ibrahim kissed me on both cheeks and said, "May Allah be with you." I heard both these stories within a year of each other, but I never thought of them as a single story until I came back to the United States to live. One sunny afternoon, I was thinking about my life in Israel and the many people who crossed my path. Somehow, I thought about Avraham and Ibrahim. Perhaps it was because they both have the same name. I was awestruck when I realized that their lives may have been connected by the same house and the same piano, as well as the same war, the same sorrow, and the same redemption. These two Abrahams have fulfilled God's prophecy by making their lives a blessing. As it says in Genesis, "And the Lord said to Avram, 'Get out of your country and from your kindred and from your father's house, and go to a land that I will show you, and I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, and you will be a blessing.'" Shana Tova. We're going to continue into the end of our service. Before we continue, I just want to say one thing. I don't know if you can see, there's a chair up here that's covered with a talit that's bound, we can put it out there. Let everyone see it. It's bound by a blue ribbon. This chair is one of many around the world in Jewish communities. It represents the hostages. I don't think I need to say more about that. We all know who we're talking about when I say hostages. This is I guess, I don't know who asked us to do this. It might have been the Jewish Agency, but synagogues all over our city and all over the world have a chair that's dedicated for the hostages. God willing, we will know their disposition. We will have them back soon. And we can take the ribbon off and take the talit off, and it can continue to be a place to sit here on the bima. But for now, it's where the hostages are sitting. We're going to continue on page 1 in your handout.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. May you trust in generations past and yet to be. May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your eyes shine with the light of holy words, and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, your fulfillment be in justice, even as you ever yearn to listen to the words of the holy ancient one of old. May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. May you trust in generations past and yet to be. May you live to see your world. May you live to see your world. May you live to see your world fulfilled.
Let's turn to page 43, Aleinu. If you're able, please rise.
Are we doing the Kiddush? Okay. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים. יתברך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש הקדוש ברוך הוא.
You may be seated. Turn to page 2 in your handout. And let's say this responsively. And then all that has divided us will merge. And then compassion will be wedded to power. And then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then all people will be gentle. And then all people will be strong.
And then no person will be subject to another's will.
And then all will be rich and free and varied.
And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many.
And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance.
And then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old.
And then all will nourish the young.
And then all will cherish life's creatures.
And then all will live in harmony with one another and the earth.
And then everywhere will be called Eden
once again. Let's turn to page 44 at the bottom.
למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד.
page 45 brings us to turn our thoughts to those whom we've loved who are no longer with us in this earthly plane. If you are in a period of mourning, or if you are observing a yard site, hold your loved one's name inside your heart as everybody rises for Mourner's Kaddish on page 45, if you're able. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayekon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei almayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudisha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran v'yalma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. We are going to turn now to Kiddush, on page 71. It's over there's the cup. It's right there. Is there a cup? Yeah, it's right here. Oh. Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Barei pari hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher bachar banu mikol am v'romamanu mikol lashon v'kidashanu b'mitzvotav v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu bi'ahava et yom hazikaron hazeh yom zikron teruah Mikra Kodesh Zecher Litziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'charta V'yotanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim Udvarcha emet v'kayam liad. Baruch atah Adonai melech al kol haaretz v'kadesh Yisrael v'yom hazikaron.
You may be seated. We're going to conclude our service in just a moment on page 47. Well, we have this and then another blessing, but we're almost done. I'm very excited to invite Josh Levy up, our president, to Say things. Do you need a mic?
People hear me back there? Okay, we're good, excellent. It's rare that people say we can't wait to hear Josh speak, so I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Shana Tova, hello everybody, thank you all for coming to service today, whether in person or live streamed. Many, many thanks are due to Rabbi Brown and Cantor Shear for leading services tonight. The words, your leadership, your singing have made for a very, very special evening. Thank you, Beryl, Sarah, and the entire choir for your singing, playing, and accompaniment. Thank you, Carol and Julian. Your playing is always inspirational and moving. Thank you to Justin and the entire tech team for live streaming our services for those who couldn't be here in person. Thank you to the security guards who enabled us to worship safely and securely this evening. Pat, I don't believe Pat Outlaw is here, but we must thank her for how important she is to the running of the services, for creating the handouts. Thank you so much, Pat, for all that you do. A special thanks, we must give special thanks to Luis Fernandez and Brian Friedman for all of their work with the 21st Century Campaign. There we go, thank you, thank you. The final work in the sanctuary was completed just a few weeks ago with the encasing of our air conditioning units. You can see, you can't see the units themselves anymore. And with the new ceiling lights and fans. And for those of you who've been paying attention, you're not seeing the fan shadows on your prayer books. So thank you, Luis and Brian. Without all of your tireless work, none of this would have been possible. Thank you so, so much. Services tomorrow morning will begin at 10 o'clock. We hope to see you here or on the live stream. There's a family service at 4 o'clock. Sorry?
Or here.
Oh, yes, or here. We would rather see you here. If you can't make it here, the live stream is available for you as well. But if you come here, there is a special treat after services. We are celebrating the birthday of the world, after all, so there's a special treat after that. There is also a family service at 4 o'clock at the South Mastic Road picnic area, followed by Tashlech. Just a couple more things. If you ordered apples and honey and the candles, the bags are downstairs in Ratner Hall for you to pick up. Please do so and check your name off on the sheet. While you're down there is actually food down there for you. We have dessert, so please help yourself. Hopefully you've digested some of your dinner. Finally, you've probably noticed there are some reusable tote bags on your seats. We are once again collecting food items for the SCAN Hunger Pantry. Founded by our congregant Lona Gruber in 2001, SCAN provides nutritious food to those in need. We want to continue to support the amazing work that they do every day. I want to challenge every family that is here and every family that is on the live stream to bring back at least one full bag when you come for Kol Nidre or Yom Kippur morning service. Jan and I will be bringing at least 2 bags, maybe more, we're not sure yet. But I will be taking stuff hopefully to this hunger pantry if they're open on Saturday. If not, I will make other arrangements to get it all there. Let's see if we can fill the trunks of several cars or minivans to help those who need it. The bags have a list of the most needed items stapled to them. Please stick to what's on the list, and we want to thank the Fairview Park Giant Eagle for donating all of those bags. Shana Tova Umituka, may you have a sweet, happy New Year. And I know we have Luis has one more quick thing to say for us before we conclude. Very quick.
You'll be leaving with some fine memories and the thought and the sounds in your head of the singing and of the choir and of the cantor. But there's 2 things we'd like you to not leave here with tonight. One of them is your name tag. When you go out, whether you go out the back doors or you go down the stairs to the back doors here, you will see little boxes there. One of them is to take your name tag. Please take it off and throw it in the box. We will assemble them all and put them back out on the tables, and when you come back tomorrow, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, they'll be out there for you to pick up. If you take them with you, you know you're going to forget them, and we won't have them. So please, don't leave here with them. The other thing is the handout, the blue handouts that you came with that have the various poems and so forth that we used tonight. we're going to reuse those tomorrow. So Pat thought, what's the point of running off 2 whole sets? If you will simply, there's another box to take just the handouts. Throw them in the box. Don't worry about being neat about it. Just throw them in the box. We will take them out and we'll make them nice and put them out tomorrow morning to give you when you come back. So they'll be there. We don't have to run off anymore. So if you just please remember to do that, to leave the handouts and to leave your name tags. And I hope I'll see you downstairs for a little light treat. Thank you.
Let's turn to page 47. Adon Olam.
Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra v'yet nasa v'chefza kol azay melech shamo nikra v'yacharei kitlot hakol azay melech nora v'hu hayah v'hu hoveh v'hu Vatifara, Vahu Echad V'Ein Sheni, V'Yamshilo Lahakbira, V'Li Reshit, V'Li Latit, V'Lo Haoz V'Hamizra, V'Ho Eli V'Chai Goali, V'Tzur Kefli B'Yetzara, Ohori si umanosli manat kosi v'yomekra Avkid ruchi v'yeti shan v'ayira V'im ruchi gaviyati Adonai
I'd like to ask you to rise for the priestly benediction, and we're going to say Hamotzi right after that.
Yivarechacha Adonai vayishmarecha Yoer Adonai panav elecha vayichuneka Yiso Adonai panav Elecha v'yosem lecha shalom.
Let's say Hamotzi. Beautiful. Did you want to say Hamotzi?
Pardon me?
Did you want to say Hamotzi?
Oh, move right ahead. Do my best.
Cantor Shear and the choir did not practice this, but I'm going to sing it anyway. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we
We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together, as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
May 5785 be a year of sweetness, joy, light, good health, prosperity, and please God, peace. May we finally have peace. Shana Tova Umituka.
Shana Tova.